Hello, Internet. I'm Jackie Fox, and in the last viewer comment response video, I noticed a lot of you seem to have a lot of trouble 140ing units and 140ing units quickly. So, meet my Astrius. I pulled him yesterday, and he's already at level 79. I've actually pulled off on taking him any further, and I'm collecting shards because I've got through the first couple phases of how you build a unit quickly. And I got through all of those yesterday, so let me kind of finish up some stuff. There's a new quest. You just basically clear it once, and it gives you all of the job level stuff that you need for a new unit, so you don't even have to worry about farming that stuff. That's just one quest now. And I'll show you how I got a lot of the shards that I've got already for this guy, and in this video we're going to take this guy from level 79 all the way to 140. I know that seems basically impossible because I haven't even collected the shards off the challenge board yet, and I saved those last for an important reason. But first, let's talk about what you should be doing every day and what's going to enable you later on in this process. This is something I told people to do coming up for reincarnation, and it's only getting more and more important that you do so and follow my advice. You want to be collecting your friend medals and sending your friend medals every day, but you also want to be going to this friend medal shop. Every month you can get new characters for 2,000. That's going to be 40 shards for them and a bonus vision sphere, which is helpful if you need them. Or you can just buy their shards. And one of the points of this is that you're going to be able to farm a whole lot of, eventually mind spheres once you've built characters up, which is important for one reason, but also these shards that I just pointed out. So, soul metals here, this is what you're essentially farming, or one of the resources that you're farming here. You're farming two resources at once, is what makes it so valuable. This is what you use to trade for mind spheres, and that's what we're going to do a little bit later on. But first, let's talk about transcendent mind spheres. You may notice that a lot of these units that I already have, to get transcendent mind spheres, a unit has to be 120. Like fully maxed in that respect, 120. They don't have to get into the reincarnation system, but you have to get them right up to the doorway. As you can see, I've done this for a lot of characters. Now we're starting to get into the characters I can get free in the way that I just showed you. I did this recently for my Helena, but I've built up some in the meantime, so I can build up a couple of new mind spheres. Only using the shards from these free units that I can farm in this way. Let me show you how many I can get. It's been maybe a couple of weeks. And honestly, I haven't been playing a whole lot, and I haven't been diligent about this because I'm trying to avoid my game crashing right now on this account in particular. So I definitely could have got more of these over the last couple of weeks, but 78 ain't bad. That'll almost get me all the way into the reincarnation system from 120 right there, and I think I might need the extra help. Also, might as well get my lightning mastery while I'm here. Now, unfortunately, I can't really show you the summons that I did from this account, but I do have a way to work around this because some of the new summons are really good, and I want to talk a minute about strategy for pulling. If you have at least 20 to, I would say, 25,000 viz, you might consider doing these first 2 or 3 pulls. I've got a lot more characters than you would expect. I post about it on YouTube whenever I do it. Off of these first 2 pulls, and even if you do get them on the first 2 pulls, I would say go through this twice, because if you look at this step system, you're going to be getting 40 shards, 40 mind spheres, as well as 400 coins, which trade for another 40 shards. So that's 80 shards, 40 mind spheres, for just over 6,500 viz, which is about what those would cost in the shop, plus 500 viz, and you get 4 pulls and 4 chances to pull the new unit. Then do that twice. I mean, it's just, even if you get the unit on the first pull, you should still do the other 7 just because of how efficient they are. This is also building up soul stars. Soul stars are also going to be important for you. So, unfortunately, you didn't see me get another hit on this banner, but that's kind of what's going on for how that works. And all new characters have been getting these, so that's really, really nice. Also, if you look in the shop for them, in the regular shop, we've often been having 2 sets of 40 for like 1,000,000 gil a piece. grab those. That's 80 free shards, so that's pretty awesome. And then every time you refresh the basic shop or get a whimsy shop, you're going to get 10. I think 5 or 10. 10 in the main shop, though, and you can refresh that several times a day. I'll show you farming that later. This is where the free shards would be if I hadn't bought them already. Also, I don't know why they're not doing any free stuff in this shop this week, or any shop. But usually, we're getting free tickets per day in that shop as well. But for right now, you can see I've got a lot of shards, but I need 360 to fully get this guy all the way. So let's see how close I can get to 360. That's what the amount of shards I'm going to need to take him to 99. And that's where it's going to cap out in shards and start giving me mind spheres. A couple other things are going to happen at that point, and I want to get us up to that point to kind of show you. There's also a chance that more shards will spawn a little bit lower, but I'm not too worried about it. I would rather just get the 10 that are easy and the refresh. And I keep refreshing because it's free, basically, and as long as I have plenty of viz. I got this guy really quickly and didn't spend a lot building him up. I would say I've spent maybe 25k viz, and they're giving us like 24 free viz a day at minimum. I mean, there's other plugin rules and stuff, so it's been easy to kind of spend that extra little bit refreshing every day and blow maybe 1,000 viz on another 20 shards or so for him, or another couple thousand viz on maybe 40 shards or whatever. Also really close to getting Stern all the way, so I'm just gonna kind of push that till it hits that limit. I don't know who I'm going after next. I mean, I guess once Astrius hits... Oh, Astrius isn't going to be in that lineup, unfortunately. Well, that ripped that idea. Fast forward through this shopping montage. I'm gonna go ahead and grab just a couple more shards for the day. Well, I guess I can afford to spend some more of these. I don't necessarily need these. I've got a lot of the vision cards that I have max. I actually only have 5 cards that I own in UR that maxed, so I get like 1 free Rainbow Medal a day from vision cards already. But as you can see, I'm out of vision stars. I only got up to 3 because I used a lot of these on Helena. I've been kind of chronically running low because I'm a free-to-play. I don't pull a lot, so I don't ever really build up vision stars. But I had enough to get this guy, and you want to get those before you go to the challenge, because there is a point where they will turn off giving you the ability to spend soul stars. So you want to spend those while you've got them. But another thing that you can do, this is going to be another 15 shards for you, is the character quest that unlocks at level 40. I think the hard quest for this guy is going to give you like another 5, and then the first time you complete it, another 1 or 2 that first day, so that's going to be 7 on your first day with him. This is actually tripled right now, and you can expect banner units to be tripled anyways, so that would actually be more like 11 on your first day. And then you can expect to get a couple of shards in the barracks on your first day. Even more if you can speed that up. Again, because of shard bonuses making them get shards, I believe twice as fast as other units during the bonus period. All these things coming together to give you a lot of conditions to build up a lot of stuff for them really quickly. But also, this celebration quest is just nuts, so I'm going to jump in on it while I can. If you are watching this while this is still active, do it. And there's that big viz reward, plus additionally a whole bunch of great tickets to hoard and a bunch of extra free energy per day. In addition to all that stuff, which ain't bad, but is nowhere near the free pull a day, basically. Free choose your own pull. Or 2, basically, if you're doing the 4 steps. But I'm going to hold off on getting that energy after I'm recording a video right now. let's go ahead. I unlocked Astrius's stuff for this yesterday, so let's go ahead and do the hard quests. Okay. As I was saying, since everybody is tripled right now, we're going to be getting 6 shards this way for wait. But that's kind of normal, I think, for a new banner unit now, because they get bonus shards if they're eligible. Limited units won't actually be eligible for this, unfortunately, and I know Astrius is kind of limited, but the limited units for all of the Warrior of the Crystal stuff have always been eligible for this. So, finally, nearly at 360 shards, I'm going to start collecting challenge board. I've been waiting until this point to do this, trying to get shards from literally everywhere else I could until I get here. And this is why I did it last. There was only four shards away, and now I'm starting to get mind spheres, and I'm actually starting to kind of build up those soul medals as well, which I'm going to need to buy more mind spheres for this guy. So we're going to get an extra 100 and some soul medals. And as you can see now, he has disappeared from the Soul Star shop, because you can no longer really get shards. But where we didn't see him earlier in here, we can now purchase his mind spheres. And don't mind me, I'm just going to purchase about 250 of them. If I didn't have any mind spheres for him already, this would be enough to put him past level 115. This costs around 2,000 of these soul medals, and as you can see, I started out with 3,000, so I'm going to do this pretty comfortably. That being said, I wouldn't be able to comfortably do it for another unit, and I wouldn't be able to easily go into paying 10 per month. So let's go back to the challenge board and replenish my stock a little bit, because again, this is going to be giving me soul medals as well. In fact, I should be collecting about 110, 114 in total off of this challenge board. So that helps make up for the maybe 1,800 I just spent, maybe just a little bit. But also 400 scrolls. Since you get half scrolls on reincarnations while a character is in their banner period at this moment, that's enough to take them halfway to full reincarnation. How do you get the shards? Well, essentially, stockpile transcendent mind spheres and stockpiling mind spheres for those characters. And as you can see, this is a day after he released. Okay, I just pulled him. The only reason I didn't do this stuff yesterday is because I had stuff to do and I couldn't just stop doing stuff and record a video for you guys. So I had to wait until today to have the time to show you this. You know, I could have done this day one. And again, if I hadn't just blown my long-term resources in terms of transcendent mind spheres on fully awakening Helena, then it might be worth it for me to take this guy at least halfway. And honestly, if I still have maybe 100, I might get him. I only really get him like 5 reincarnations, but I don't know. Maybe I'll continue buying his shards every day and get him a couple reincarnations a day, and maybe I can get him to 20 or even 30 while I can get the discount and save myself 300 scrolls or so. This all means that we're now fully ready to start phase 2 of building our character. We've got to the initial generation 1 level cap of 99. Or at least, I think I got him to level 7. I increased his level cap. I got his TMR, at the very least. That's pretty cool. Set trust stones for this guy. Maybe an argument for vital since he's a little bit versatile, but the meta is still dominantly pretty physical, and he leans a little bit physically defensive anyway. So let's go with shield, which will also get him healing power up just in case I pair him with a healer. That could be beneficial, but I could absolutely see vitality being a good one for him. Agility following that up, I think is kind of the way to go, just to keep it fast. Let's also get these jobs maxed. go to job level 15 with everything. Again, we got all the materials that we needed for this from that little one-off side quest. Defeating all the enemies. There's like 30 on the map. Takes a little while, but so that quest isn't really farming. But it does drop interesting things, just not enough of them to really care about. And also it is really long, really grindy for those limited rewards. Just not something I recommend doing. So now we can unlock the EF job and get into phase 2 of building. It takes 400 mind spheres to make it through this phase. And as you can see, we have 446 already. We kind of really overshot our goals here. What can I say? I'm a bit of an overachiever. And again, I want to emphasize, I had like 20k in the bank, 25k viz in the bank when I pulled this guy. And yes, it did only take me 2,500 to actually pull him, but I still went through the 4-step twice, regardless of that. So pulling him anywhere on that 8-step, essentially, or double 4-step, would have yielded the same results. And I still have Biz left. I'm sure they're giving us an extra 2k Biz a day, and that's definitely helping. So this is something that's a little bit easier to do right now during some of the New Year's events. But this is absolutely replicable, as long as you keep in mind a lot of the tips that I've given you so far. Also, if you deposit a bunch of JP into your JP bank, which I'm about to accidentally do, but then I realized that I want to draw some JP because I've got a ton, nearly 1 million, which I think is around the cap. And unfortunately, you only do about 100,000 per go, but that's enough to do a lot. We might have to come back later, but that'll get us pretty far from it. Because our next thing is really gonna, is something we've been neglecting to do thus far, but is really gonna power up and open up this character quite a bit. And that's just finishing off these boards here. We're gonna focus on the EX board first, before we unlock the stats and jobs and stuff. This is gonna unlock some of the extra levels, which is kind of what we need more strictly for right now. Also, I don't necessarily recommend using the item exchange shop, but my account is both. I have a lot of things built out that I don't want anyways. I have a lot of the units kind of built out well, and I'm firmly decided in what I want right now, so I know what I can afford to give away. But yeah, let's just trade for some items right now with stuff I have an abundance of. Let's get rid of some of this earth too, man. I've got so much of it. Usually, and I think they're giving us tickets for these things every day anyway, so maybe this is the dumbest time to do this, but maybe I also want to hoard those tickets for the future like a squirrel. Looks like I don't need a ton of resources to do this, so I'm just gonna get for right now. Because this should be the last thing that requires me to use that currency. Everything else is just going to require JP. I might need a lot more, like, fully max out the stuff, but I should be able to finish the board 60k for right now. Just unlocking things at least. And I'm focusing on the edge, because that's going to unlock the middle for me. This makes unlocking it a lot faster than trying to do it piecemeal, a little bit at a time as it unlocks from unlocking the jobs. So I like to wait until I've basically, unless I'm going to use them early, basically until I've got the 120 unlocked. Usually because even if they're the 5th person on a team and they only have the 2 basic skills, the rest of the team can carry them. It'll be fine. They'll survive. At level 79, they'll be okay. We can do this a little bit later. So I'm getting everything unlocked now, trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Trying to figure out what some of my passives are, which ones I want to use. That would actually be really interesting, but I don't think I want to use it actually. I don't want this counter skill at all either. I would consider not unlocking it, but I might as well, just why not? This is a pretty good one if I remember. Yes, this is a big boy. And that's one of the reasons he's good against physical. He starts with a physical barrier, which is cool. Let's see, try to change this out. Maybe give him some additional mobility to go with the speed runes. But I think I have other ways to increase defense penetration. I need both of those on a passive. It seems to me he has a lot of that within his kit already. I may even end up with multiple options to do it. So I think he had the main job and sub job support for that concept. Crossblade looks kind of interesting. Water type wisdom is very specific, and I'm not into it. Things I've already said about him. So I'm going to go with Martialist. I think that's probably strongest. And we'll figure out what we want to use and don't use later. Basic. I think Prescient Deterrence is probably the best reaction, so I can stick with that. And now it's time to level stuff up. We'll start with the main job, and I'll skip kind of the main sub because I don't tend to use it. But we don't have a lot, so I'm going to focus on the counters and passives. Those are probably most important to do first. Once you know what you're using and you've got it equipped, do that first and then start focusing on skills. At least the skills, but everything's going to be affected by passives and counters. Also, separate frequencies. Let's go ahead and pull up the limit first. Bam. And we'll do some of these skills up top as well, but we're going to need more JP, so let me go get some more of that. And then I'll go into the sub-job Martialist and get that stuff leveled up. Second source of courage, it looks like. Maybe that's the only one. I think he's got one in the main, though. But, hey, maybe I'll turn it off, or maybe I'll leave it there as a backup. Or at least turn it on in guild battle. As a backup. Don't forget to get these 3 things on the board. The new, probably one of the very strongest skills, often. Damage limit up, especially for a damage dealer. Don't forget to crash your game. Let's go ahead and take him all the way to 120. Go back for those abilities, make sure we get those maxed out. Get that attack all the way up. Especially important for Kim. Barely made it out of this with JP, but we didn't take him on any JP runs, so we only transferred over about 200,000. And that's about what we needed to finish him off, so start to finish about 200,000, but that being selective, not doing a lot of sub-job stuff, and I'd still need more just to get him all the way to 140, so you know the drill. And there we go. That's how you level 140 a limited character within a day of pulling them. It's not particularly difficult, but it does require an understanding of multiple areas of the shop, including places that are, I don't know, vaguely hidden. The mock shop's not really hidden, but it's not the main shop, and then some of the stuff is towards the bottom, but and a lot of extra currencies. You're not worrying about doing this just with Fizz, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out that link in the description for more Jackie Fox, and I'll see you in the next one.